everybody. Welcome back to Voyages of Shelf Discovery. I'm Earl at thelogbook.com. It's been a while. Sorry about that. Had a bit of a health issue in September that kind of got me out from in front of the camera, out from behind the mic, and yeah, I'm glad that's over. Anyway, so we are today talking about Tron. And there's lots to love there. In fact, I have to show you these. My friend Vic Sage, just the other day, brought me a couple of vintage Tron Jigsaw puzzles. Now, how cool is that? Don't, well, I say you don't see those every day, but I'm pretty sure he found these while out thrifting. And, just any Tron merch is cool. Tron's a far cooler movie than anyone has ever really given it credit for. However, there was merch back in the day, and I think we should review that for a second, because it was really cool, and it kind of directly influences the item that we are looking at in this edition of Voyages of Shelf Discovery. What you were looking at are the original Tomy action figures from 1982. There was only one wave, only 4 characters. From left to right there you see Sark, you see Sark's warrior, you see Flynn, as played by Jeff Bridges. Sark, of course, is played by David Warner. And at the far right you see Tron himself, as played by Bruce Boxleitner. Now, the original 1982 action figures were molded in translucent plastic with the details printed on. Now, this is an unusual photo of them in that there's quite a bit of backlighting going on, so it shines through the figures, and the painted details kind of stand out in relief. And I distinctly remember, if you got those figures under a black light, it was very well planned. Obviously, that was completely intentional. So what we are looking at today is the San Diego Comic-Con 2021 exclusive from Gentle Giant and Diamond Select. This is a massive, massive box. This is a set of 3 8-inch Tron action figures, and let's see, let me switch to the other camera, that may work better. What these are basically is these are the same sculpts that Diamond Select already used for their Tron Select figures in 2019, I think it was. I got a set of those. And this, however, is, as you can see, what they've done with the material that they are made out of. They have gone back to the Tomy decorating scheme, and they've molded them in translucent plastic, and they have painted the details on in and they say it's blacklight active. It's the same kind of fluorescent paint, and it will light up the same way. So, since they are, and the cards that they are on in here, they are each individually carded. These are very close approximations of the original 1982 Tomy packaging. So, I am going to do the unthinkable here, and actually I'm going to pull these out of the display box, because I do have racks with pegs on them behind me in this room. It would be a shame not to actually hang these up, as you would see them at retail. And having just recently clipped my fingernails, of course I can't break the tape. So bear with me a moment. I'm actually going to peel very gently. So, I am not going to open the figures themselves. I am just going to open this display box. I'm going to put it away somewhere safe. And, okay, so there's kind of an inner tray here. Gives it some structure. Alright, here we go. Defiling it as we speak. Those of you who think that stuff should always be left in the packaging, always, feel free to do a slow motion. No! Okay, this is nice. They're held in place by little plastic clips on the tray. I'm going to hang on to all this stuff because that's, should it ever need to go back in the box, that will be key to keeping all of it quite safe. There are also clips on the sides. Okay, I should be able to lift Tron out here. Alright, so let's pull these guys out one by one, stick them under the camera, and see how they look. Very nice, actually. Very, very nice. They went to great lengths to research, exactly the kind of plastic that was used. And I'm assuming that very much like the original action figures, the identity disc is probably glow-in-the-dark material, as it was in 1982. So that's great. The peg is... Okay, now here's the part. Again, someone somewhere is going to protest vociferously. Okay, so some changes have been made to the back of the card. And yes, I just punched it. Oh. I just punched it because it's going to be hung up on a peg, as it should be. So, gorgeous. I actually think the decoration, the actual paint scheme on the figure may be more detailed than the 1982 paint scheme. I think that may very well be the case. The figures are twice as tall. It would be kind of silly if they had exactly the same paint scheme and nothing changed. Let's look at Flynn here. Again, we have a glow-in-the-dark disc. Trying to angle this carefully so it doesn't just wash out the figure completely. So again, Flynn is molded in this light blue translucent plastic. And it's the same, like I said, it's exactly the same sculpt as the solid gray figures that Diamond Select did previously. I am sure those of you who think I am terrible for punching these so they can be hung on pegs will light up my YouTube comments appropriately. We have one more here. We have Sark, straight from the Sark tank. Again, same color red as what you saw in 1982 with the Tomy figure. And very, very similar details to how the Tomy figure was painted. And, there was no shading of the face or anything like that. There really wasn't, then or now, a terribly good way to determine if it was actually much of a likeness, because the appeal of the figures was just the design and how they were done, how they were put together. So that's I'm not going to open the individual figures. I'm not going to take them off their cards. The cards are going to be hung up lovingly with a Tron display that I have over here to my left. That happens to include the existing Diamond Select figures, which were molded in gray plastic, with painted details. and a couple of other Tron items, including an actual glass marquee from a Tron arcade game. Which that reminds me. Since these came out, it has been revealed that the big One-Up Arcade Christmas special this year, the unit that they're going to sell at Christmas for about $500-600, is going to be Tron. It is going to be a Tron machine. It kind of skimps a bit on the deco of the arcade machine. Not quite so many photos from the movie inside the hooded area where the screen is. You know, it's a slightly scaled down version of the arcade machine, but it replicates the controls. I have normally regarded the One-Up arcades as way outside my price range. This one is the first one that I've looked at. Well, this one and Star Wars are the first one I've looked at and gone, huh. Should I or shouldn't I? Now, the Star Wars machine, that hit at a bad time. I was not able to partake of that. And if you go looking up the One-Up Arcade Star Wars machines on eBay now, you know, that's that's like down payment on a house. Never mind. Missed that one. Am I going to partake of this year's One-Up Arcade, which is Tron, and also includes Discs of Tron, which was the second arcade game that Midway released, and is even harder to find operating in the wild than a Tron machine. Stay tuned. I still haven't made up my mind, but I also am not quite sure where I'm going to come up with that kind of money. So it's fun to think about, though. Kind of like these. I almost did not order these guys this year, but apparently since San Diego Comic-Con was again a virtual event this year, apparently the pre-order uptake on these was not as, shall we say, instantaneous as it has been in the past. And so I was able to, you can tell I'm watching the Weather Channel. I was able to go ahead and get on these, and, you know, then I had other real-life issues intervene that made me wonder, should I cancel that pre-order? Yeah, it seems kind of silly now. I didn't, and now I'm very glad I didn't, because my friend Vic Sage, who brought me these Jigsaw puzzles, which I think will also, those will look great next to these figures. Figuring it out in real time, you saw it here first. Vic Sage told me that there is a record store here in Fayetteville, Arkansas, that has one of these boxed sets of the San Diego Comic-Con Tron figures. And from what he told me, they have been marked up like another 50% from what I paid for them. So I'm just going to consider myself lucky that I got this set and not feel too sheepish about it. I am a Tron super fan, I totally admit. And now it's time to go find out if these really do light up under a black light. Stay tuned. As promised, here's a look at the Tron rack that I have going on here. It's not just Tron. I have some vintage Coleco mini arcades that you probably can't see because of how dark it is in the room. But here you can see the marquee from an original 1982 Tron arcade machine. You have the original Diamond Select figures along with the Master Control program from the 2002 Kubrick's Metacom Tron sets, which were really cool. I need to get more of the Metacom stuff on display. And here are the new guys, kind of lit up like a Christmas tree. Okay, I feel like the blacklight active paint job, oh yeah, does what it says on the tin. That's exactly what it says on the tin. And for good measure, down here are the Tron Jigsaw puzzles that just got added to the collection. So it's really looking very Tron over here.